Okay, so just a real quick tutorial on how to navigate the board. So let me talk about signal flow for just a second. Essentially, signal flow is just saying, we're taking this from a single input into a group kind of set of inputs, and then we're going to send that to our master output. So let's go a quick overview of inputs. Right here, you can see this is labeled inputs, and then we have channels. CH stands for channel, 1 through 8, and then all the way down to 25 through 32. And then we have some extra stuff that's aux. We have some effects, sends, these are returns, and then we have our buses. So let's go back to inputs. Now, an input is just a singular source that is going into the board, and it's sending a signal, and we can adjust the parameters with different kinds of effects, or like a gate or a dynamic compressor, or like an EQ. So we're taking inputs here, and we've grouped them into a couple different ways of looking at inputs, which we call DCAs. Now, a DCA does control the volume of an entire group, but it's not a bus. So for more information on that, you can look up any videos on what's the difference between a DCA and a bus. But essentially what a DCA is able to do is group a bunch of channels together. You can control their volume as a group, and then you can also press the select button up here, and that'll change your input bay to be able to access all of the inputs that are in the group of the DCA you're looking at. So for this one, I'm looking at drums, and I have right here all of the drum in individual inputs that are then sent to this DCA. And if I turn the DCA all the way down, then I'll lose all of the drum inputs and my main left and right output. So let me show you this. Where I'm getting signal right now is Fabian's guitar. I'm getting his electric guitar main left and right. And I'm just going to take that and take it out. And now I lost signal from him. And then I can bring it back in. So this is controlling all of these channels. So the band is one that is a pretty large group. It actually contains all of these three instrument groups together. So if you have these instrument groups at different levels, but you bring the band all the way down, that's going to completely eliminate the band from the mix. What I like to do in transitions, if there's a time that I need to take the band out, instead of muting them here, I like to just bring the DCA all the way down to infinity 0 here, because that's essentially acting as a mute. So once again, talking about buses and talking about outputs and being able to hear mixes in different places, they can't hear their own instrument if I mute it in a DCA or if I mute it on the board. And so sometimes I avoid muting if I know that they're playing something and they're going to go back into something. Maybe we're going from like the piano playing to a video and then back to the piano is going to play. I'm going to just bring this DCA down, and then when the video is over, maybe this is the video channel, and then when the video is over, I'm going to bring this up while bringing this down, and then I'm going to get sound again. Encourage you to use DCAs. When you get into mixing, you want to make sure your DCAs are set either at unity or maybe just below unity to give you some headroom. Headroom just means that there's room to go up in volume. And so you set all of these to this, and then you essentially mix over here in the input section, kind of jumping around to different sections and bringing things up or down. And then when you're done with that, you can, when you feel like the mix is good over here, you can just bring the whole section up or down instead of needing to, independently go through each of these channels and find what you're looking for. This kind of makes it a little quicker and easier to get around to what you're looking for. This also helps because a lot of times the speakers will go up and they'll go up in times when we're not completely expecting it. And so leaving it on this panel, this channels 1 through 8, where we have our MC and our headset mic, is kind of important, because then, you know, I can quickly grab this fader and just bring it up to unity or above, and give them plenty of volume when they're trying to lead the congregation. We're trying to avoid having any kind of disruptive volume changes, and so incremental changes is always the best. So sometimes you'll need to throw a fader up really quickly, but a lot of times we can actually just take a fader and we can bring it up fairly slowly, and we'll get to a place where it sits well in the mix. So we'll get into that a little bit more when we talk about balance and what does it mean to balance a mix, but essentially that's what we're going for.